Welcome to another episode of Inspire You. And I am just delighted to have a dear friend that I have met all the way from Denmark.
Hi, guys.
Hi. And her name is Sine. And we were just saying, I don't say it right with my American accent. So if you would please just say it right in your Denmark language, go ahead and say your name so we know.
Okay.
Hi.
My name is Sine, and I'm from Denmark.
Yay! And of course, I'm Amanda, and just here to inspire you. And Cindy, I know she said I can say it this way because of my American accent, but saying names right is important to me. But I want to say, what a beautiful light you are. And I have so enjoyed getting to know you through our mentorship program that we both found each other in from our mentor, Kim Calvert, with Dynamite Lifestyle. And we have been studying together for almost a year now.
Yeah.
And we were just saying the growth that we can even see in each other has been fascinating. But today, I want you to share your journey, your story with us, because we just need more inspiration in this world. We were just saying before we got on, it's Olympic time. And
Yeah.
what sport were you just watching for your country?
A handball, and I just love that game. So I am just pumped up because we won.
Yeah, all right. And it's just how so inspiring, right? Just to watch these athletes, the commitment, the dedication. Now it's their time to shine, seeing
Yeah.
the whole world come together. And it's just so powerful. And to root for our countries, right? And to root for our
Yeah.
people. So it's so inspiring. And so, Cindy, tell me, let's tell our audience here about your story and kind of the journey that you've gone through over the last several years. So let's kind of start off sharing the journey of like the problem you were encountering and then how you got to where you're at now. So I'll hand it over to you.
Thank you. And yes, we have to go back to 2010, December 2010. I got a very bad back injury in my lower back. And that kept me from living my life for the next 10 years forward. I was so um, dis how do you say that in English?
Like disabled, not
Yeah,
able to move.
exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah. I couldn't move very well. I couldn't walk on my bad days. Sometimes I had good days, and then I was just, oh, now I have to vacuum and all of that. And then I have to lay down for 14 days after that because I couldn't walk. The nerve to my legs was about to get a pinch off.
Yeah.
So the nerves here and the injury was just pressing and pressing and pressing on the nerves. So it just shut off my, how
Kind of
do you say?
lower body from working, your lower
Yeah.
extremities.
Yeah. So I was in the hospital a lot. I was talking with the doctors a lot. I have 25 pills to eat every day. And that was mostly morphine, sleeping pills, nerve pills, back pills, all kind of pills. And that triggered my anxiety and my PTSD from some traumas I had when I was a kid. It all was triggered. So it was all just spiraling down because of the back injury. So I have used a walker, a toilet seat, so I could get up from the toilet because I didn't have any strongness in my body to lift myself up. And I also have had a bathing stool, so when I took a shower, I couldn't sit down. and I couldn't lift my arms up. So I also have something to wash my hair with. So I was sitting like that, putting shampoo on the stick and just sitting like that and wash my hair. And that was my life for 10 years. And
Wow.
the doctors told me one day you will be paralyzed in your legs. One day you cannot walk. And you have to accept that.
And we were having the conversation right before we got on here that, you know, a lot of us in your culture, you're really taught to respect authority and to
Yeah.
respect the doctors. So it was kind of like, well, that's what they're telling me, and they're the best at their job. So I just have to accept this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so what obviously huge shift has happened as I see as we get on our calls, you are able to dance.
Yeah.
Dance.
Yeah.
So what shifted for 10 years? I mean, let's wrap our heads around that, Cindy. That is 10 years of that mental toll, the toll on your body, not
Yeah.
being able to function. Like, were you able to work?
No.
No work? Did you live at home? Like, did you have other people taking care of you?
Uh, at periods, I was living at my parents' house, and then I get one apartment on the ground level. So
Oh,
when I have that, my parents came and took care of me, and my friends came and cleaned for me, and
wow.
yeah,
I mean, 10 years. We're not talking like this was just a year. That is a very, very long time.
yeah. And I am only 38.
38. So then this was like, you were like 25?
Yeah, around 25. Yeah.
Oh my word. Okay, so when did this shift? How did things start to shift for you?
I reached my breaking point in in 2000 and in 2020. I was just we have just me and my boyfriend have just bought our dream home and dream land, and we were just living the good life. And I was just sitting and looking at him in front of the firestone, and I was just saying to him, I have to do something now.
Mm,
There is two options for me. I kill myself or I find somebody that will help me. There has to be more to life than this. I cannot live like this anymore. I don't want to live like this. And I have been visualizing how I could kill myself. And then I knew there has to be a visualization for how could it look if I was healthy.
mm,
So I was just, okay, I have to go search on the internet.
mm,
And then I find a coach here in Denmark because I have been to the psychologist and all of that, and that helped me to a degree, but it didn't take me to the next level, as if we can say it like that.
mhm,
So I was Googling coaching. I found somebody, and she was very good, and she told me go and look up Bob Proctor and Dr. Jody Spencer.
mm,
And I did that. And when I did that, my whole world just changed like that. Because I knew the moment that I heard them, there was a truth resonating in me.
mm,
I remember Bob Proctor, the first thing I ever heard him speak about was, you are your only problem and you are your only solution. And when he said that, I was just like, what on earth is he talking about? I didn't bring this on myself. How dare he? But I also know, oh my God, I am my only solution.
Mm.
It is me. It is some who I truly am lies within me, but I have forgotten all about her because I have been so sick and be put in a box, and you can only do this, this, and this. And they were just pushing me down and closing my mind down with all of the pills and all of that. So I was just finally I found my truth.
Yeah, like you just said, I got the chills when you said that. You just resonated when you heard the truth. And, we were talking about as well before we hopped on that there's this spiritual essence inside all of us. And Bob Proctor and our mentor talks about this all the time, that we are God's highest form of creation, the
Yeah,
highest form. And we can never be separated from this source of life. It is the spiritual essence in us that knows no bounds, that can't be held back because it's spiritual, it's unseen, it's the energy, right? We know this body, this is like our temporary house. That's not who we are. This is our vessel. This is our jar of clay, if you want to call it. This is our outward. But that inner spirit you're talking about, she awakened.
yeah.
Oh,
The light turned on again. Actually, it felt like a light switch,
yes.
boom, like that. And I was just like, oh my God, my life has just literally changed. I could feel it in every cell in my body. I felt it.
Cindy, when in our recent study, we were talking about just as an example of Jesus with the resurrection and the Easter story, right? And the dying off to the old self
Yeah.
and the rising up to the new self. And that is like the encounter you had. It was like, oh my gosh, there's this new energy, this new birth that just happened to me. The old is gone. I'm getting rid of that old. What
Yeah.
everybody told me, boxing me in, medicating me so I can't even think, move,
Yeah.
have my being. So powerful. So tell me, dive into that a little bit more. So it sounded like immediately just the synchronicity, this alignment that just like, phew, that's truth right there. Whatever was just spoken, it just resonated with you.
Yes. 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 Yeah. And I really just dived all in. Like there was nothing more important to me than meditating, visualizing how I could walk without a walker, how I could just move around the whole world and just dancing. And just, I was just in that the whole time. And then I found one doctor that was willing to take me off the medicine. So
Mm.
I used 6 months to come off the 25 pills because it is morphine, so you have to go slowly out,
Yes. Yeah.
Um, and when I did that, I was just like, oh my God, I can think now. I see the world in colors now. Oh my God, this is beautiful. And when these three things combined, and I also started to working on my load from my past, because I have taken a lot with me from my past. When I started to take that off of me, if you're peeling an onion, take one ring off at a time. It felt like I was doing that with the meditation, because the meditation is that we are sending positive vibration to each cell in our body. When we are doing that, we become aligned with ourself, but it is an alignment with our inner self, the self that we cannot hear or see if there's too much noise out here. So so I was just in that. I think maybe 2 or 4 hours every day. I was just in a meditate and silence. And
Mm.
then I started to visualize how my life would look like when I stepped up and become even more. And that from going from suicide to walking and dancing around the world take me 3 months.
What?
Yeah,
3 months. So you hadn't even fully weaned off of all the medicine and you were already able to dance. Oh my word.
yeah.
Wow.
Because I started to connecting with myself again.
Because you had been so drugged, you had been told over and over, almost programmed to believe
Yes.
you're not going to be this, you're going to be paralyzed. And the power, I think any human can probably relate at some level to the limited thoughts that can keep us bound.
Yeah.
And other people might not even know, but we're having a story in our head all day long
Yeah.
of beating ourselves up, of thinking negative, of hearing the outside and taking that and turning it inward to the inside of us. So you really started to switch that whole process to live from the inside out.
Yeah, exactly. And just sitting and saying, okay, because I still have a back injury, but I take 0 pills now, but I still have it. And I still have the PTSD and I still have the anxiety, but I have not been triggered in 4 years now.
Mm.
Once I have been triggered, once I have been triggered, and that was of something we read in Think and Grow Rich, but that was the only time I have been triggered in 4 years. And I have come to the conclusion now, yeah, you still have the back injury. And so what? You are not in pain anymore. You are not in the limited beliefs anymore. There's no one that is telling you what you can and cannot do. You are in charge of this. And if you ever feel pain, if I sometimes have digging in the garden and something, I'm just, oh my God, that was maybe too much. Then I go rest for 30 minutes on the sofa and then I am good again. So just I am not broken. I am not going to pieces. I am not all of that. I am whole. I am oneness. And I am just a massive bundle of energy that is out here to bring shine and fun to the world. And I'm doing my best to do that
Yes, you are.
because I know how it is to be in the darkness. I know that. And
Mm.
I don't want to stay there. So it is up to me to create my current reality. How do I want to be in the world? How do I want to show up in the world, even though I still have the back injury?
Mm. Right. And so tell me a little bit. One of the other things I wrote down before, you were talking about you had to have faith to trust the process.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
expand a little bit. Mhm.
Yeah. And this is the funny part because I just know when I feel something, I know, okay, walk in faith. Now you are holding the faith in what you believe in
Mhm.
and what I know that I can do, but I have to walk the path without having the result in my hand when I start the walk.
Mhm.
So when I first started to letting go of the walker, I didn't have any result that I could do that. But I had to react on this is true for me. I can feel it in every cell of my body. This is the truth. So I had to hold that faith I had to hold that
Mm. Belief.
vision and light for myself that I could do that and keep walking. So when I'm saying
Oh,
holding the faith, it is that you are believing in your intuition, you are believing what you have felt wholeheartedly in your body. And when you're coming from that place, you can move mountains. You
mhm.
can actually move mountains because you believe in you.
And I was thinking of these three chants that we hear often, like just I can, I will, I must.
Yeah,
And you just kept holding that. And like it is possible. All things are possible through me.
yeah,
All things are possible through me. And
yeah,
I am going to walk again. I am going to be medication free. I am going to dance. The power of I am starting to switch, right?
yes,
Because you were just told over and over what you weren't going to be. And you just
yeah,
switched that power on. No, I am this, right?
exactly. And we are that I am.
Right.
So it is so important because I was just the first time I heard that, I was just, what on earth are they talking about? But if you're always saying, I am disabled, I am disabled, I cannot, I am disabled, I cannot, you believe that. You're starting to believing that. And the body, please know, the body is listening. The body is listening with every cell, with every fiber, with everything. So when you're starting to swifting, I am powerful, I am a walker, I am a dancer, I am fabulous. The body is listening to that also. So what is it that we want to keep ourselves occupied with? The inner speech is so important if we want to get something, letting go of something and moving forward in that. The inner speech has to become aligned with that.
Yeah. And that has been probably one of the biggest I don't know, awareness, something I've grown in my awareness around is that the inner speech becomes the outer world that I experience. And
Yeah.
so, like you were saying, if I don't like what I'm seeing on the outside, that maybe you're going through the same situation over and over. For 10 years, you're struggling with, I can't walk. 10 years. Or somebody is battling I mean, there's so many different things, a relationship that you just keep having the
Yeah.
same pattern, and maybe it's different people, but you just keep experiencing the same pattern over and over and over. And so that then can be the thoughts you begin to have about yourself. I always attract these kind of people, or I always bring in people like this. But how do you want it to be? How do you want to see it? What kind of relationship do you want to experience? What kind of health do you want to have? And that's so empowering, because when we begin to align with what we truly want, there's a scripture that says, God will give you the desire of your heart. What's your desire? What lights you up? What is that desire? And I think, when we're little kids, we have so many big desires. We have so many things we want to go for. And our parents are encouraging us. There's like, oh, there's nothing you can't do. But then it's like we get in school, we slowly, we begin to just focus so much on the knowledge and gaining knowledge and gaining knowledge, that the dreamer in us, that imagination side, that side just starts to kind of die away, and we become more realist, or we become more like, I got to listen to what this professor says, or this doctor says, or this person tells me. And we start to really, we go through and we have more judgment about things. We're not as carefree. We're not as childlike anymore. And that has been like probably one of the funnest things this last year, is like this little childlike girl in me again coming alive, like
Yeah.
dancing everywhere, like you, Cindy,
Yeah.
right? Like
Just
there's
picking off the shelf, just, oh, I would like that. Can I have that? Fabulous. I'm taking that.
and not limiting ourselves,
Yeah.
like really, like you said, taking that discipline, that time to meditate, that time to be silent, that time to really get still and listen to our heart because it's guiding us.
Yeah. And we have so much. It doesn't matter what has happened in your life.
Mm.
It is what you were doing with that that matters. That is so important, because even though that we are maybe sitting in a bad situation, we can flip it. We can flip it in our heart if we start to connect with ourselves again. And I know there's people that's just, oh my God, what is she talking about? You know? And there will always be that, because if we are sitting in a bad situation, it can feel so, but how do I do it? You have to get still and go in your heart, because whatever happened to you, you can do something with that. You can take that and mold it into something very beautiful. You have the power of doing that every day for the rest of your life.
And you
We
know what, just
all have that power.
that's right. Like the past is not us. There's nothing we can do. And whatever happened in the past, like that is what Cindy and I like want to say, like there is hope for your future. There is hope for the now moment because the past doesn't make you who you are now. But we stay stuck in the story of maybe the trauma, and these are real live things. I mean, you went through a trauma, with your body for 10 whole years. That's like you said, it's still there. It's not, but you're choosing to say, I am going to focus on living.
Yeah.
I'm going to focus on experiencing life because that other way, that was not fun. It did not give you energy. It did not bring you to life. It did not allow you to dance. It sedated you. It kept you bound. It kept you in the bed. It kept you on the couch. You couldn't even connect with others in a way you want to. And so, yeah, I think our message, like, I think we could be, what we're saying is like, there is always hope. And it all starts with really, I mean, there's a lot we can dive into, but what are you choosing to allow to dominate your thoughts?
Yeah.
Is it thoughts of that past and what you're being told or what happened to you? You know, anything that could be keeping you bound, like in a cage, like you were saying. And this is the power of the now moment. You can just choose to say, I am letting that go. I'm not being bound to that story anymore. What do I want to experience? What do I want to have in my life? And begin to shift your thoughts. And this can take some time. For you, it was a faster process because you just heard the truth and it just resonated and you were just like, you felt it within every cell of your being. That could happen for some of our listeners today. That could happen. We know it.
Yeah.
But if your thoughts have been going, like picture like a freight train going full blown on the tracks and it's been going in a negative way for a very, very long time. And that's going full blown. Well, if you had to switch tracks, you can't just a freight train, a big train with all the energy and all the power. It can't just all of a sudden switch tracks like that. It has to slow down first and then it can move tracks. So if you're at a place right now where you're in that negative space and it has just been one thing after another, and your thoughts are just been spiraling and you're in a deep, dark hole of darkness, start to just slow those thoughts down and be gracious with yourself, you know, and then those thoughts as they come, just become aware of them even. And then say, oh, do I want to think that anymore? And then as you slow that train down, that negative energy, those negative thoughts down, begin to then switch them, like you were saying. I am strong. I am powerful. I am hopeful. And that then energy will start to go right and start to work on your behalf and will speed your momentum up to the faith side instead of going full blown down the fear side, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is so true.
Mm.
And can I just say one last thing? Because we can
Absolutely.
talk about this the whole day.
I
But
know. Yes, let's wrap this up.
I just want to say to you that change can only happen when we are impacted. When we have an emotional impact, the change is coming. So if you are feeling like that, because there is a lot happening in the world right now, and the world is about to awakening. So
Mm,
if you ever feel the impact, you know there's more, you can just feel it in your body, you just see the surroundings starting to changing, found find the people that inspire you to do that. Because if you're starting to listen to people that is talking this, are speaking in a different manner than the news are doing, please go with them. Please start to become aware of how do they speak and how do you speak to yourself,
mm,
because you would never, in all of these years I was sick, I was so hard on myself and other people, and
mm,
I would never have talked to anybody like I talk to myself. I
mm,
would never have put that on anybody else. The hate, the darkness, all of that, I would never have put that on somebody else.
mm,
So don't do that to yourself.
mm,
Don't do that, because you are as much love, light, and kindness as your loved ones is. So you have to found that self-respect, self-love, and kindness for yourself, and get yourself some grace and gratitude, because it is actually a miracle that you are here. So
absolutely.
live that. Yeah.
Oh. Oh man, what a powerful light you are in the
Thank
darkness,
you.
right? I mean, let's continue to light the world, inspire others. I know you're doing that, my friend, my sister, my soul sister from Denmark. That one day I will get to actually meet you and give you a hug. Thank you for coming on Inspire You today, and for, I know, bringing hope, love, light into somebody else's world today. Thank you, my sister.
Thank you for having me, Amanda. Thank you.
You're welcome.